Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is the American Scouser TV pre-match show for Liverpool versus Burnley. We're joined by Sir Z. Good morning, Sir Z. How are you?
I'm good, Mac. How are you?
Not too bad. And a big shout out, a big happy birthday shout out to our glorious leader, Temujin, who is 27 today, I believe. I'm sure. He will tell us that when he comes on. But we have an important game coming up in the next 30 minutes or so. We'll start straight away with the lineup. One surprise, at least, well, two surprises because Gomez isn't there, but Kelleher in for Becker for Alisson, who has the flu, and apparently so does Gomez. But Endo is back in midfield. Van Dijk and Kwanzaa at the back. Endo, McAllister, and Jones in midfield. Jota and Nunes and Diaz up front, and Alexander Arnold. And who was the left back? McAllister's in the Jones. No, Jota. Oh, Robertson. Yeah, there you go. Robertson starting. Probably a little bit rusty. Not the plan for him to return there. But Suzy. Outside of the illnesses, was it a surprise to see Endo back so soon?
Not so much as a surprise. I mean, he's got game time. It's not like he's coming back from an injury. So no, I think it's a good call, especially against Burnley. If it was against Manchester City or Arsenal or Manchester United, maybe it would have been a too big a call. But I think it's a good game to ease him in. Surprised to see Tsimikas on the bench as well. So, I mean, the left side is pretty weak in regards to match fitness, but if they're going to come in, it's a good game to come in on. It just feels like we've been jinxed. I just don't believe where all these injuries and all these illnesses are coming from.
Probably having parties. I'm talking parties. Here's the main party meister. It's Cozzy. Good morning, Cozzy. How are you?
What a lovely introduction. For 6:25 a.m. in the morning. But there we are.
There you go. And you're just coming in from a party, I'm sure. I'm only kidding. But a little bit of a surprise to see Gomez and Alisson out through illness, thankfully, not injury. But Tsimikas on the bench. I hadn't even looked at the bench at that point because I was too concerned with what was happening in the game that was going on right now. But, I mean, it's good to see Tsimikas is back and ready to play. And it starts to beef up the team in terms of numbers. But is there anything about the lineup that concerns you at all, Cozzy?
No. I think it's an half-decent lineup. We've got Endo back, which is lovely to see. It's not a bad game to lose the keeper. We have to be completely honest, if we had to pick a game to lose the keeper, Burnley or Sheffield United at home would be one of them. So it's not horrific. Big fan of the midfield. I really am. I think it's one that us as fans have wanted to see for a while. McAllister further up the field, Endo playing. If he plays as well as he did before he went to the Asia Cup, then we'll be really in a good position there. And Jones is basically now a starter for Liverpool. So the Costas one, I do agree with Sergi. I think it's interesting because it gives Robertson more time. I'll be the first to say he's looked rusty when he's come on and played these minutes. I don't think he's been at his best. So that's good for him as well, that we have another option there. The never depend on everything thing is just don't rely on other teams to beat City. If you can't beat City, don't rely on other teams. It was one of my biggest frustrations in these title run-ins with City. I know we're not in a title run-in yet, but it's like if we wouldn't beat City, then we'd go, fucking hell, they never beat City. Well, we never beat them. So let us beat them first and then worry about the rest, kind of thing. But going back to this game, mate, I think it's a good game. And listen, I don't think we play now till next Saturday. I think we have another week off, don't we? We have another full week. Yeah. So
it's the knockout rounds, I think, isn't it, for the European thing that we're in?
Yeah, I think it's also replays of the FA Cup. Maybe I can't remember. Yeah. So it's actually this is really good for Liverpool. So Liverpool, if you do have an illness, this is not a bad week to get an illness. If you get in a really weird way, because you've got one game in 2 weeks. So if you've got the flu and all that kind of stuff, this is not a bad game. So it is what it is. But also the positive aspect of this, guys, which no one's considering. If Kelleher's going to play the League Cup final, I'm a big fan of him getting another game in first. I'm a really big fan. If he goes and gets a nice clean sheet today and Liverpool win 3-0 and he makes 1 or 2 saves, and he might feel great before the League Cup final. So there is that positive to look at as well.
Let's just take a quick look at the Burnley lineup to see what we are facing. I mean, I haven't paid zero attention to Burnley, but they're down where they are for a reason. Is there? I mean, they have that Fofana kid that came in that scored 2, I think, last weekend. Yeah. An unknown quantity, maybe, but is there anything for us to be worried about, Suzy?
Just Fofana, really. I don't see where the attacking threat really comes from. That's going to, as long as Van Dijk's on his game, and I think Kelleher, he just needs protection with the set pieces, because Burnley do come up quite aggressive on set pieces. So as long as Kelleher gets his protection from our defense, this should really be a strong on the park. Trafford, he's just a mistake waiting to happen. No, I mean, anything less than 3 points in this, then we just call it a day. This is a great game to bounce back on, like Kazi was saying from last week. Especially with Manchester City winning today, we have to win this game. It's like it's a non-negotiable. We have to win this today.
Is he a young Trafford or an old Trafford? It's that early for that joke. But they do have Aaron Ramsey. I mean, that's literally the only other thing I could think of that's familiar to me. Not a threat, but just familiar. Another one of those hopeless cases of what could have been in soccer. But having said that, let me just put the dramatic button on for us, because we're a podcast. We need to get to the extremes sometimes to see what the conversation will go like. We can't rely on other people to beat City, because you're absolutely right. We have to do our job and then make sure that when we play them, that the win will be significant. But that means we have really no margin for error now again in this game today, do we?
No. I expect nothing short of a Liverpool win. I don't think it's going to be as comfortable as people think, but I still expect a Liverpool win. The team the Burnley team there, the one positive that Burnley can take, they have really, in the last 4 or 5 games, kind of stopped leaking goals, which is handy for them. I know they lost to Villa. I know they drew with Villa, I think 2-2 or 3, I can't remember. But then I know they lost to City 3-1, but I think they went to Spurs in the FA Cup and only lost 1-0. They played better Luton and drew 1-1. They played with Fulham last week and drew 2-2. They came back from 2-0 down. So there's something there in terms of that. They all look like they are stopping to leak goals a little bit, which is handy. But they did play City a couple of weeks ago and just lost 3-1 last week. And it was the most, City thing ever, just to win 3-0 and then, Burnley get a late one. So it's interesting, mate. It really is in terms of Liverpool, because with Kwanzaa, as been mentioned, Kelleher, Endo, we haven't seen them actually for a while. I know Kwanzaa's played bits and bobs, but we haven't seen them for a while. But again, there is options now on the bench, still, even with this illness, with Gakpo, Elliott, Kostas, Gravenberch. Clark has got minutes. Do you know what I mean? So there is options there now for Liverpool too, if they want to rotate. I think with the early kickoff next week. So there is that to play in mind. But I expect nothing short of Liverpool win. Listen, if Liverpool are serious about winning the title, they have to be Burnley at home. And it is what it is. I would love nothing more than to go out. Do you when you have that game? I looked at Villa last week, and Villa was struggling before last week. And do you when you just wanted that game where you just go, you know what, we just want to have a laugh here and just have a bit of fun. And then Villa turned the Sheffield United game into loads of fun. And then the second half, the fans were just singing whatever they wanted to sing because it was a no contest. Liverpool could do with that type of game. Liverpool could really do with being 2-3-0 up inside half an hour and just we're all having a lovely time. And there's no pressure on it. And, Kumas gets a game and Clark gets a game and we're all having loads of fun. That's the type of game Liverpool really need. We really need this to make a bit of a laugh of this. But I don't think it's going to be like that, but that's what the players could do with. The players could do with having a bit of a laugh here.
So Z, just let me go back to the lineup one more time. We do have the known quantities on the bench: Gakpo, Elliott, and Gravenberch, and Tsimikas, and Clark to an extent. But I was a little bit excited by McConnell when he came on for his appearance. Now we saw what having those kinds of appearances did for Conor Bradley. if it gets to be that kind of game, like Ozzy says, a bit of fun in the middle of the second half, would that be a game to see if this kid actually does have a little bit extra, or whether he just caught lightning in a bottle on that time?
No, yeah, definitely. I think if we're strolling the game, then just bring him on, especially Elliot. I mean, he deserves to be playing, and yeah, McConnell for sure. I'm just so like 50-50 in terms of like mentality in this game. Like either we used last week as a kick out the backside and absolutely trounce Burnley, or we're still feeling sorry for ourselves and it's like when Badley came on, he came in a winning team, and he didn't have that pressure of, all right, he's got to step up and like make a difference. He just like strolled straight in because we were just like beating everyone. But last week today's going to be an acid test of where we really stand, I think, and how we can bounce back from negativity.
Cozzy, let's talk about as the middle classes say, our bête noire, myself and yourself. He's looming large in the background of Susie's his background. If we're going to have a bit of fun, if it ends up being that kind of game, Nunes has to turn it on, doesn't he?
Yeah, he needs to. He's desperate for a goal. He needs a goal. He needs a couple of his chances to get buried. I don't want to see him take 10 chances today. He will, but I'd rather him just take 2 chances and score 2, and just so he feels better about himself. Listen, a striker can only miss chances so much. We can sit there and say he's got confidence and he's got this ability, and it doesn't affect him. It will affect him. He's a human being. Yeah. And he's a striker, and he understands the money that he's come in for. He understands his wage, and he understands he has to deliver. He's not stupid, right? So we could really do with just 2 chances going in today with the 2 goals. It's all a lovely time for him because he needs that lovely time.
Almost like a Newcastle kind of game.
Yeah. I don't want him to take 10 chances and score 2. I don't want him to have 10 and score 2. I'd rather him just take 2 chances and score 2, so he feels better about himself that he's not missing from left and right. You know what I mean? I think he's better on the left. That's going to be an argument for another day, I suppose, but I think he's been better on the left for Liverpool. I think he's played his best performances in probably a year on the left, especially against West Ham at home and the Cup and stuff like that. So, but when you look there, the next 4 for Liverpool, mate, we play Burnley, Brentford away, Luton at home, and then Forest away before City in the Cup. The Cup game's not counting in the league, sorry. Liverpool need 12 points.
Yeah.
You need 12 points before City. It's not even a question. The fixtures are decent for you. They're not amazing because Brentford away is going to be tough. We know this. Brentford away was tough last week for City, but they got there. And then Forest away could be tough as well, but still, I still expect Liverpool to win. Liverpool should have a bit of revenge on the man from last year. I think they beat us 1-0 last year. It was a diabolical game of football, if I remember correctly.
It was horrible.
I think Van Dijk missed from 3 yards out, if I remember correctly. But so Liverpool just need 12 points, and if Liverpool are going to get 12 points, we need Darwin Núñez. This is why we bought you to be the schoolyard bully. Like I need, I always look at Lukaku, for example. Lukaku used to get 25 goals, but he used to beat the bottom 10 twice. So he'll just score the goals against the bottom 10 twice, which is 60 points. And go, I'll get you 60. If the other lads can get you do the 30, we'll win the league. So that's how Lukaku used to work a little bit. And I feel like Darwin could work like that. And go, Jota, you can go and score against Arsenal. And you can go and score against City and Salah. But you've got to beat the bottom 10. This is the team in the bottom 10. And Liverpool have to go and do that. That's where you build your basis on from winning the league. So I really, really hope it works out for him. I really do, mate. And today's a big game for him. I do think it's a big game because I was frustrated with his miss last week. I think he'd done a great piece of skill in the second half. And then he's just blazed one over the bar from 5 yards out. And I think someone's in the box. He could have just played it across. So let's see what happens for him today, mate. It's interesting. But again, he has to be beating the fucking teams like this. This is Company's Burnley. It's not Dyche Burnley. They are wide open sometimes,
Yeah.
Liverpool didn't play that well last time against Burnley, and we had like 10 chances in the first half. We should have buried them in the first half.
Didn't he scored 2 that game, didn't he?
No, he scored 1. Jota scored the last, then he Jota got back and was injured and scored. But I remember Elliot had a chance. I think we had a goal disallowed as well in the first half. They were wide open. It was Boxing Day, I think. So, come on, Darwin, man. These are the games that we've fucking bought you for. Put these teams to the sword, kind of thing.
Susie, seeing as he is in your background there, are you expecting the game that Cozzy is talking about from Núñez, or will we be talking about glorious glaringness like we often do? And let's just, for people watching, and we say this on Thursday, we want him to succeed. This is not an Andy Carroll thing where he's just the wrong person in the wrong position at the wrong club. We want him to succeed, and he does some very good things. But we're getting to the point where we can't afford the misses at this point because they may be the only chances we get in the game.
Yeah, I think with him, maybe today he'll miss. I think he'll miss a couple of sitters, and then he'll score like 2 worldies. And that's just the type of player he is. I mean, going back to Lukaku, even though Lukaku scored against the bottom teams, his goals never made a difference in the games. Them goals that he was scoring, they were just additions to. He never actually won games. If you look back at Lukaku, the goals he scored were just like he'll score like when Everton were up at 2-0, 3-0, or whatever it was. But with Lukaku, going back to Nunes, though, he's just such a phenomenon. And if he gets them, if them shots go in and don't hit the post, like he'll be up there with Haaland. That's what we'll be saying. But then, because they're not, we're putting him down with Origi. So I don't know. It just needs something to click for him.
It's tough, man, right? And I think this is something which I've got to get used to moving to America. And of course, we're all not from America. So it's something I have to get used to. We want every player to succeed.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't care who it is, whether I like you or not. I want you to play well for Liverpool, because that means Liverpool win football matches. And that's something I've had to when they go, oh, he's your boy. I don't understand that. They're all my lads. If you play for Liverpool, you're my lad. And I want you to fucking fight for me. And I want you to play well and win football matches for Liverpool. I would love nothing more than Darwin Núñez to prove me wrong and go and get 30 goals. You know what I mean? I would love nothing more. Prove me wrong. And it looks like he's close to doing that, because he's had his chances and he has this ability. We know he does. But it's like, it gets to the stage where, you will cost us more points than you win us with your missed chances. Again, I say it all, that if he scores last week, that chance, I know it's a tough one, but people, it's kind of gone under the radar. If he scores and buries, it goes to 1-1. Sorry, I think Liverpool go 2-1 ahead at that point.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So it's all fine margins when you're not playing at the top level. It's fine margins. So that's why Jota's so important, because Jota just takes a chance and he has one sniff and just takes it. But let's get behind these lads. Every single one of them is important to us. They play for Liverpool. They're our lads. I don't care about this, he's your boy and, you don't want him to do well. And I don't want him to fail. I want him to be the fucking best striker to ever play for Liverpool. I want to break Ian Rush's record, because that means Liverpool win fucking loads of titles and loads of trophies. Yeah. So, but he's close, man. He really is close. I want to see him on the left today. I don't want to see Jota down the middle. I want to see him on the left. But I don't know if that's going to happen.
But what I like about it, he doesn't give up. He just keeps going and going. He even though he misses chances, it doesn't let him affect his game, where he doesn't want the ball anymore.
It must do, though, mate. When he gets home at night, he must know sometimes, we could have won that game if I buried. Yeah. He must know. Because I think Salah's like that. I know Salah, it weighs on Salah, you can tell. Because he comes into the next game when he misses a couple of big chances and he's fucking on fire. And he's like, I'm not letting that affect me. So it must get to you eventually. Do you know what I mean? He's not, he's not a robot. But,
talking about match winners, the birthday boy is with us today.
Come on.
27 years old, isn't it, Tamuch? And happy
birthday. Oh, man. 30 is the new 50 or 50 is the new 30. I don't know which one is which. But what's going on, gentlemen?
Good, man.
We're good. What did you think of the lineup? Your birthday surprise was Alisson is sick.
Yeah, you know what? I looked at the lineup, and I don't know, maybe by habit, I don't know if you guys are the same way, but, I almost now these days start with midfield, right? And then kind of looked, I'm like, oh, it's exactly what we thought. And then I read the comments behind, they're like, oh, it's a good game not to have him. I was like, no, who? And then I'm like, oh, shit, Alisson is not there? Because really, that kind of does worry me, to be honest with you, because I think Victor put in the comments earlier. I mean, yeah, that's trio back there. The 3 out of the 5 in the back there kind of worries me, to be honest with you. It is good that it is Burnley, and I do agree, if any game, this game. Yeah. But at the same time, it is a concern. If I'm Burnley, I'm getting excited over it because, you're missing pretty much number 1 goalkeeper in the world. So
we talked just there about Núñez, but let's go back to the other end of the field. because Bickler made the point about Kwanzaa and Trent being on the same side, and we don't have Allison in behind him to mop up the balls that get through, etc. Temujin, is that a worry for you, or has Kwanzaa shown enough for us for him to not be a worry, but we still don't know what the Trent factor will be at the back?
I mean, that's the thing. You can have Van Dijk on that side. I was so worried with Trent defending that side, and that's the deal. I mean, I said it last week. I would hate to play right center back on this team. The only thing is with that midfield, I'm assuming Mac is playing Szoboszlai's role, so you will get more defenses. Somebody has to take the role of Hendo and covering Trent's ass. So I think definitely Gravenberg was not that guy, and that was the biggest mistake I thought last week, and that makes Trent look even worse than he is defending wise and stuff like that. But I think McAllister would be a lot better fit for that role. So if he can slide back and let Trent push up, that would help. The only concern, flip side of that, is to play devil's advocate. Now, if McAllister is like, damn, man, I was just getting used to 6, and then Endo is there, and then next to Endo's right pocket is Trent's, so we could crowd the midfield unnecessarily ourselves and kind of get the game stuck over there. I think this is a great game with McAllister being there to get Trent out wide to whip those balls in and stuff like that. But it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, the 3 out of the back 5 being as it is kind of worries me. And that's not a knock on Kwanzaa. I don't think, regardless of who's there, I'm going to worry about the right-hand side. But at least Konate knows what he has to do to cover that side. I don't know if Kwanzaa has that experience that's, I know if Van Dijk is like, bro, you better watch your back kind of a thing when Kwanzaa is there. But I don't know if he's going to be able to cover that. But let's see. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Brian. This is interesting to see McAllister in that role. I was getting more and more comfortable with him at the 6, especially when Bradley was in and he had the wide option and he had a lot more space in midfield. But let's hope so. Otherwise, I really love that midfield. I think it's a very, creative and industrious midfield at the same time.
Yeah. So Z, on that note, because we could talk about McAllister filling in that gap for Trent and helping out Kwanzaa at the back, but we've also talked a lot about McAllister kind of being pigeonholed a little bit in that 6th position and curbing his expressive instincts. Is this going to be a game where we'll actually see all of those things that McAllister is probably bursting to do every week, but he can't because he has to cover right at the back and then protect the back 4?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Like Timothy was saying, I think the only thing that might squash him is Trent, and maybe that he'll have to overcompensate for Trent's defending. If it was Bradley playing instead of Trent, I think, we'll see the Maka that we all thought we were going to get, the position that he was going to play. But I mean, it's credit to Maka that, Klopp has enough confidence in his intelligence and gameplay and versatility that he's going to play roles that he didn't really want to play, like Milner. But I mean, if anyone's going to pull Maka back, it's going to be Trent and his defending. But hopefully he doesn't get to that stage and we win 6-0 today and we're good.
And listen, I think it's hard on Maka, right, when you look at Maka, because he had his best game against Chelsea at home last week. Yeah. Was that last week now? I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, it was his best game. It was his best game in the 6, and he was excellent. I thought he was unbelievable. I thought he was Liverpool's best player. And it's getting to the stage where Endo was Liverpool's best player before he left for a month. He was one of Liverpool's best players. So you've got to put Endo back in. Endo hasn't been. This is the other part. Endo hasn't been injured. He's been playing footy, and by the way, in a lovely climate and having a lovely old time. Do you know what I mean? I'm probably going to see his mates and his family and having a wonderful time. So Endo's got to start, but he hasn't got much of the choices. We haven't got a centre half. Konate suspended, Gomez is sick. He's got to do Kwanzaa, and also he hasn't got another right back because the other one, of course, is out, which is understandable. So it is what it is. The manager's been played into a corner for this game because he hasn't got the options that he needs. Do you know what I mean? So Bradley was giving the manager questions. He was giving the manager I can actually legitimately start in Premier League games, which was. When we all first saw Bradley, we all thought, well, that's going to be a lot to do. And it would have given Trent the full 8, if you want to give Trent the 8 role or the 6 role. Bradley, and by the way, that's full credit to Bradley for going into the manager's mind there and going, oh, no, you can trust me. You can start me in Premier League games. But unfortunately, today, of all days, he hasn't got another centre-half, he hasn't got another right-back. And they've lost another midfielder, and two midfielders, and Thiago and Szoboszlai. So the team kind of picks itself in a weird way. Apart from the only conversation is Gakpo or Elliott could probably play in the 8. That's probably the only other argument because Gravenberch is so woefully out of form. So the team picks itself. But as we go back to, of all the games that you want your team to pick itself, it's probably today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's probably one. If you're going to lose players, it's probably today that you can afford to lose them.
Just on that note, Timuchin, if it's not working out in the front three and you want to put Gakpo on, who's going to be the most likely player to have to come off?
I would think it would be Endo. To be honest with you, you would probably take Endo, slide Mac back there, and put Gakpo basically midfield, almost like an attacking midfielder. If you're chasing the game, I mean, if you have the leads, I mean, I guess you can plug in anywhere. But I think if you're chasing the game, he gets him on the pitch same time as the other three, and you don't take any possible scorers or creators off the pitch. Endo is like the safest bet to take out when you have McAllister on the pitch at the same time, is what I think he would do. Let's hope it doesn't get to that stage. This is a great game. I mean, we keep saying, no better game. But you see today, I mean, yesterday everybody was like laughing and making all kinds of jokes about Everton's chances against City. Well, that goal didn't come till what, like 70 something? I just woke up and I'm sure, like, I didn't watch the game. I'm sure they parked the bus, but still, there's no easy game in this league. Obviously, they were, they got the win at the end, so that's the most important part. But I would hope that if we get an early lead, so you can get maybe Gravenberch and stuff like that up there to get some minutes, get some confidence and stuff too. And I hate to say it, even though we don't have a game for another week, rotation would not hurt towards the end. Dropping like flies over here.
There's also a part of this match as well, by the way. There's fucking cup final spots up for grabs, There's a cup final in 2 weeks. Do you want to fucking start the cup final now? Because right now, if we have to, we're all big Liverpool fans and watch every single game. I couldn't tell you the fucking apart from probably the back five, I couldn't tell you the rest. Who starts? Is Salah back? I have no idea. I have no idea. Do you know what I mean? Will he play Mac on the 6? Is it going to be Endo? Is Szoboszlai back? I don't know. Is Darwin going to start on the left? So there's 6 positions there. If you want to go and start at Wembley and be a part of Liverpool win the trophy, then these are the games that you've got to go out and go and perform. So there's big chances tonight for these lads as well. McAllister, you want to be playing in the 8? There's your chance in the 8. You're playing against a side who's going to be wide open for you. You want to get on the ball. If you press them well, you can win the ball back. Don't show me why you want to play in the 8. But if you go and play shit today, then the manager can sit there and go, well, stop asking me to play him in the 8 then because you didn't play well against Burnley and all. So it's super interesting. It really is today.
We'd love to know the conversations on that one, by the way, because, I mean, Klopp makes it sound like, and obviously Klopp is gone. If Klopp was going to be in a couple more years, I would say after listening to Klopp a couple of post matches that he is number 6. That's where Klopp wants him. It's not a matter of, making it work. He wants him there. The way he talks, he wants him there. He's not like a temporary fix that we sign one or anything like that. But moving forward, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to know, like, did Mecca go to 6 and be like, man, actually, I like this better because I'm like facing, usually like I can see the pitch better, distribute the ball better. You don't know, like we assume he wants to play there, but I don't know.
Just for all of you, because this a whole thing that we only have like one game over the course of 2 weeks. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but it does kind of feel like almost like a reset, so to speak. Like we're catching our breath and we're ready for the second wind for the rest of the season. With the cup final coming up, it's almost painfully poetic, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Arsenal game, it felt like, okay, we can take the wheels off a bit because we had a week off. Because we had a week off. I think we all feel like Liverpool haven't played in ages. I feel like Liverpool haven't played in like 5 weeks because we're used to playing every 3 days, 4 days, kind of thing. So this is big for Liverpool. I think the next 5-6 games all suit Liverpool. The 4 league games which I mentioned before, which was Burnley, Brentford, Luton, and then Forest before City. So and then you throw in Southampton at home in the cup, which you expect Liverpool to win, and then of course the cup final. So there's 6 games there, which I expect 6 wins. Like I expect Liverpool to find form. There's about Brentford away is a banana skin at 12:30 on a Saturday. It could be, you know what I mean? It could be a slip up for Liverpool. It's a tough game. Liverpool going to go and grind. But if Liverpool want to win the league, you have to beat Brentford away, like City did last week. And it was a grind for City, but City still beat them last week. Yep. So, as much as that's what it feels like now, I feel like we're in like a group of games with Liverpool or just before City. Like, there's no excuse. You've got to win the next 6 before City, and then just get to City, and then we can have it out at City. We can have a big argument at City with them. Do you know what I mean? And let's have it there. But let's put the pressure on City. I don't know if you guys have seen City's march, but my God, it's a tough march. Man City's march is a really, really tough march for them. So, next 6 minutes, as you just said there, it's like we caught our breath now. We're in the running. Okay, we're in the running. Let's go. We start today. We go out and beat Burnley comfortably, and let's kick on.
The only issue is that we have 5 games. Like after next week, we've got 5 games, like with a 2 or 3 day gap in between. So we've got Luton on, and we've got Brentford. Then we've got Luton like
on the Wednesday.
4 days after. Yeah. Then the cup final, and then 3 days after we've got Southampton, and then 3 days after we've got Forest.
Yeah, but they're good. If you're going to play every 3 days, they're good fixtures to play every 3 days.
True. As long as we've got our players back.
Yeah, I mean, if we get a couple of players back, the manager can probably make 2 or 3 changes for Luton at home. As much as Luton play well, and they do play well at Kenilworth Road, I expect Liverpool to beat Luton at home, especially under the lights around field. So I still expect Liverpool to win if the manager wants to make a couple today. And Tim, I know you never watched the game, but he didn't start De Bruyne. He didn't start Bernardo Silva. I don't think he doesn't start Kyle Walker. So he's made changes today and he still won the game. You know what I mean? So he's treated Everton like they are in the league. You said 18th in the league, and I'm going to treat you like you're 18th in the league. And that's what he's done. So Liverpool could do the same, is what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? To Luton before the cup final.
Because he brought, when the shit was going downhill, I was looking at the substitutions. He was like, "Are you guys got to go in and clean this shit up because we got to get 3 points."
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. And then De Bruyne comes on, and then it all changes and kind of thing. So I think that's how it is, mate. And I think we just got to get through the next 6, win the next 6, and let's get to City.
Okay, very quickly, gentlemen, before we cut off and go get our last-minute coffees, etc., for the game. Score prediction, start with Tamouch, and then Sazi, and then Kazi.
I was going 3-0 all week. I see that back 5. I'm going with the Tamouch special, 3-1.
Sazi?
I'll go 4-1.
Kazi?
3-0. 3 or 4-0.
I'm going 5-0 again. I want that Nunes hat-trick to be right at 1 point. So, having said that, we're going to get everybody go and get their stuff ready for the game. Their popcorn, their potato chips, their toast, their tea, their boiled eggs, whatever it is at this time in the morning. And we'll be back for the post-match after the game. So keep an eye out for that. And just make sure you're liking and subscribing everything. And you know what's happening on American Scouser TV. Just remains to say, enjoy the game. Shout out loud. Come on, you tricky Reds. And let's not have the 70s porn music. It's too early in the morning for that. So we'll have the nice hip-hop stuff. We'll see you later.